What's up guys, Ryan Groth here, founder of Sales Transformation Group, and I want to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that I see entrepreneurs and salespeople and leaders of any kind that they make, that I think is quite frankly the worst thing you can do if you want to get action and results in your business. And when I say action, I'm talking about money in the bank, impact, be able to do what you want, freedom, all that good stuff. And what that is needing to know what it looks like in detail at the end of your journey, yeah? So a lot of people think with the end in mind, which sounds great, but they get too in the weeds with the end in mind. They're like, oh, I want to get married, and I want to just, the young lady's got to be like, she's got to be this, or the husband's got to be like this, or I want my business when it's 50 million a year, netting this much to look like this. Here's how many people I need. Or when I sell the company, it's got to be this many multiples of annual revenue, and we need this many number. Blah, 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 blah. What happens is you take so much time to plan, and then you take so much time thinking of the infrastructure needed to sustain and support that end game, that end goal that you're talking about, that you actually take all your time or money and energy trying to build something that is not even ready to be built yet, not even ready to hold. Like, for example, it's kind of like saying, let me build, it's like saying, hey, I know the Noah's Ark. I know exactly that it's gonna rain. I'm gonna build a big ark. Well, the thing is, we don't really know it's gonna rain. What we need is to be able to swim. What we need is a boat. What we need is a vehicle. And what you need is you need sales, you need cash in the bank. And what I've found over the years of learning this is that I focus a whole lot less on what I need to do later, and I focus a lot more on what I need to do today. What problem do I need to solve today? What adjustment do I need to make today? Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna get to where you are if you have a bunch of average or below average days, or if you're not doing anything. You're only gonna get to where you wanna be by being consistent and present and successful in the moment each day. Because what happens is, like, let me give you an example. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. Gosh, I spent more time looking at the height and the weight and the 60 time and the speed of all of these other big leaguers and comparing myself to them versus just saying, what do I need to do to get better today? And I was not focusing on how to improve the game. Then I transferred some of that over into business. In my first business, I launched a CRM company. And I was worried so much about making this much money or that much money, or worrying so much about exiting and making this percentage of the company, that I spent so much time planning for what my life's gonna be like later, that I didn't just do what I needed to do today. I did learn a lot, and I built a lot of momentum for later, but I can tell you that when I started my company now, all I did was, I'm growing fast and we're doing really well, very profitable, short time, pretty impressive, all bootstrapped, cash only, I've self-funded, and life is fantastic, and thankfully we're seeing a lot more great things ahead. But what I've learned is, what do I need to do right now? What problem do I need to solve right now? What's the problem that if I solve this today, it's gonna create something better for me long term? What do I need to do today to delegate, automate, or eliminate, and still not sacrifice the business momentum? And so what I find, for example, I talked to somebody the other day who's doing just like 4 million a year, and we featured one of my mentors, Greg, from a roofing company in Florida, and he's doing 50-something million, and and then this person asked me, what's the general and administrative overhead that company has? And I'm like, hey, it's cool, we could talk about that, but why are you wondering what that is? Like, what's your reason? And I realized that this guy's head's in the wrong space. So I'm like, what I found with myself, our best customers, people who are successful, and my mentor, was that he never knew what that was gonna cost later, because he didn't care. He just knew that he needed to make sales, fill up this backlog with jobs and projects that are profitable with his ideal client, and then as the demand is created, you supplement and you find a way to serve and support the fulfillment of what you sold, and create a great customer experience, and create more referrals, and more relationships are generated, and it strengthens those, and word of mouth grows, all that stuff. And you can use that for marketing and everything. So what he told me afterwards was like, well, where I came from, the margins were less, and I was doing this much a million, and I was just kind of wondering, but you're right. the margins are better in this business and I need to take a bunch of action. I'm like, yeah, bro, like, welcome to this new game. It's an easier game. It's a wide open game. Now go make it happen while you can before other people get really good in your market at what you're doing at this game. And so what I would say to anybody, especially starting out, put a ton of energy, take a ton of action, and you'll figure out how to plug in the holes later. Because I can tell you, when you have momentum, it's a lot easier to hire somebody to fix something or to pay a software company to fix something when you have momentum and the faucet is on and the thing is leaking or the pipe needs to get bigger. But when you try to make a big pipe and you got no water flowing, then you have no water. You got nothing to feed. So in summary, on the way to perfect, you pass up a lot of good. You're never gonna be perfect. You could strive for it, but as soon as you find an area of your business that could be solved, after you solve it that way, you realize you could solve it better. But when you have this desire to fix something before it needs to be fixed, you end up wasting a lot of energy and it sets you back. And that's why people stay stuck at 1 million, stay stuck at 2 million, stay stuck at 5 million, stay stuck at 10, versus break through the glass ceiling, keep the faucet on, put pressure. When stuff starts to break or needs to get upgraded, you upgrade it. So again, on the way to perfect, you pass up a lot of good. I hope that helps you today. If you have a comment, please put it in there. If you have a story, love to hear it. If you want to chat with us, reach out. Love to hear all about what your stories are on your way to perfect, passing up a lot of good, and your story and your journey as a salesperson and an entrepreneur. So again, Ryan here. Thanks a ton for tuning in. Aloha. See you soon.